Hi YouTube, Watchify here with another video. I thought I'd do a video going over some of the watches that I've sold recently and why I decided to sell them. And I'll let you know if I have any regrets in selling any of them. First up is the Citizen Garrison Solar Eco Drive. It was a watch that I got while I was really into the field watch look. It was a clean looking watch with its black dial and white markings. The OEM bracelet was even pretty good for what the watch costs. I sold it because after owning the watch for a while, it just wore too large on the wrist for me with its 43mm case size. I have other watches now that fill the field watch category in my collection, so I don't regret selling this one. Next is the Seiko Solar Chronograph SSC 769P1. I really like this watch and sold it simply because I had gotten the newer SSC 813 Solar Speed Timer, and of course the two watches are very similar. I found that I preferred the external tachymeter bezel of the SSC 813. This watch though had a sapphire crystal and a cool looking honeycomb pattern dial, and even though it would have been redundant, I do sort of miss having this watch in the collection. Up next is the Casio Duro Mdv 106 1A. That's the classic black colorway. I loved having this inexpensive quartz diver in the collection. It too was a watch that wears large on wrist due to its 44mm case size. I only sold it because I had picked up the newer blue and black colorway. Since these watches are so cheap to buy new, I included a couple of NATO straps when I sold this watch. On to the G-Shock model DW5600 SK1. It's a basic square with a mirrored watch face, translucent case bezel, and semi-transparent strap. I sold it because I found that I seldom wore it, and I had picked up some other higher-end G-Shocks, so I decided to let this one go. I also sold it because I had acquired the transparent GA2100 Casio. Next is another G-Shock. It's the metal bezel GM5600B1. This was the first time I got a metal G-Shock, and I had liked the simple all-black look. Here again, I sold it because I had acquired other metal G-Shocks that have features that this one doesn't, like tough solar, Bluetooth, and multiband 6 atomic timekeeping. Also, since I got the all-stealth GA2100, this watch kind of became redundant. On to the Seiko Sur 371. I had purchased this watch shortly after it was released and was excited to have my first all-titanium watch. I also got it because of the light blue dial, which at the time I was looking for. It was a great quartz watch and even had a sapphire crystal. I decided to sell it since I found I was seldom wanting to wear it. In retrospect, I should have probably gone with the darker blue dialed SUR 373. Next is the Orient Mako XL 200-meter diver. It was the one with the fully loomed dial, which at the time I was excited to have. It was a large and heavy watch, but looked good on wrist. I sold it because I had picked up a fully loomed dialed Citizen Fugu. Plus, this Mako has the older automatic movement that does not hack or hand wind. Picking up that Fugu also caused me to sell my Citizen Solar Eco Drive BN015028E. This was a watch that I got early on in my collecting as I was looking for an affordable SKX alternative. It was a great watch with some of the best lume I've seen. Because these watches are still so affordable, I included an engineer bracelet with the watch, which I think looked really good with it. I'm currently selling two watches, and those are the JDM Seiko Seri 057 and the Phoebus PY010C. The Phoebus was actually my first venture into purchasing a microbrand watch. Spec-wise, that watch has it all with its wave pattern dial, sapphire crystal. It has a lume ceramic bezel and a signed crown. It's a great watch for sure, but I decided to sell it because I just found that I really wasn't wearing it too often. The blacked out Seri 057 is a watch that I struggled with deciding whether to sell or not. I have similar watches such as the Sarbo 33 and the SNKL 23, but there's just something about this watch that appeals to me with its larger, almost 42mm case size. It has a 4R36 movement and was one of the first watches I purchased that had a kanji day wheel. I have the white dialed Seri 055, which I'm going to keep, so if one had to go, it was going to be the black dialed Seri. I also decided to sell this one because I recently purchased a Citizen NB105059L, which, although that watch has a blue dial, it is similarly styled. Some other notable watches I've sold prior to me uploading videos was the blue dialed Orient Ray 2, which was one of the first automatic divers I had purchased. I sold it because I had picked up some other Orient divers, so it became redundant. Another is the red dialed Orient Kamasu. I thought I was going to like having a red dialed watch in the collection. However, once on wrist, I found that I didn't like wearing it so much. I sold that one and replaced it with the green, or I guess dark tealed version, which I'm happier with, and that one has a long-term spot in the collection. I also had a gray and rose gold accented Orient Bambino in the collection at one point, but sold it since I had picked up some other Bambinos I liked more than that one. Plus, it's a rather large watch as dress watches go. I even had a San Martin 62 MAS Homage watch that was really a great watch. It had a sapphire crystal and ceramic bezel, and it came on a quality bracelet. I sold it because I had gotten the Seiko SPB143, but honestly, I wish I would have kept this watch to wear as sort of my worry-free weekend beater watch. My experience in selling affordable to semi-affordable watches is that you rarely, if ever, sell a watch for more than what you paid for it. The plus side, though, is that if they're priced appropriately, they often sell pretty quickly. I sell on eBay, and my experience with selling there has been overall positive. In terms of selling, in my case, it helps that I take really good care of my watches, so when I sell them, they're in near new condition cosmetic-wise. I try to put a lot of thought into whether to sell a watch or not. I can't just keep adding watches to the collection, which is already really large. So whenever I come across a watch that I really would like to add, I try to find one that I can sell. I like to think that the watches I've sold have made their way into the hands of an owner that will really appreciate it and actually wear it more often than I did. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you found it helpful or interesting, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. I wanted to thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.